Dear students of my dear students of class 9, I am Rajendra from LPM Public School, Gola Bazar, Gorakhpur, presenting this digital video for your learning of the chapter Biodiversity. My dear students, imagine the structure and shape of the globe, and as you know, this globe is a revolving ball like structure, and globe is having two poles, north pole and south pole. There is a equator in between the globe, and the so many living organisms are living on the south pole and north pole, in the glaciers, in the sea, at the different places on the globe. And the most of the living organisms, they live in near the equator, because of the temperate region, the equator region that become hot, that become cool due to the rain, and the natural resources that are mostly available near the equator. The equator, that is having the two parts, northern hemisphere equator, northern hemisphere part, that is near the equator, that will be tropic and subtropic region, and in southern hemisphere there will be these two parts, tropic and subtropic region. So my dear student, most of the living organisms they found in this tropical region, that is near the equator. More than 70% of the living organisms they found near the equator. And dear students, the as you know, this whole nature, this whole earth, that get diversified in different forms, in the form of glacier, in the form of sea, in the form of deep sea, in the form of ocean, in the form of small sea, in the form of lakes, in the form of rivers, in the form of ponds, in the form of mountains, in the form of plain area, in the form of deep forest, desert, etc. So dear students, the living organisms they are found in these different diversified places on the globe, and according to that there is a so many diversification in the living organisms according to the environment, according to the climate of that particular place. For example, the organism that is living in the sea, they are the aquatic animals, they are the marine animals, so they get diversified according to the environment of the sea, and they will survive. The animals, they are animals and plants that is found in the desert, they get diversified according to the desert climate, and so on. So my dear students, there are so many lakhs and crores of the living organisms are there, and when scientists start the study of the living organisms, they were facing a lot of difficulties by comparing the different characters of a living organism. And so at that time there was the need of a science of the classification, so that the same character species can be categorized in a taxonomical categories. So a new science has evolved, and that science is called the taxonomy. Taxonomy is the science, that is the branch of the biology which deals the uh, science of the classification of the living organism. And my dear student, first scientist Aristotle, he classified the living organism into two major groups. One is plant and another is animals. But my dear student, later on, the sufficient explanation was unavailable about the plants and animals, these two kingdoms, because of the existence of the acellular organism, bacteria, unicellular organism, cyanobacteria, blue-green algae, plants, fungi, leaves, etc., animals, etc. So, the explanation of the Aristotle, that was the insufficient at that time, and later on, as far as discovery continues, discovery about the some bacteria, discovery about the viruses, discovery about the fungus, fungi. Then Cornwall Linnaeus, he known as the father of the taxonomy, he worked a lot on this science, and he classified he classified the whole living world into the five kingdoms. And Cornwall Linnaeus was known as the father of the taxonomy. So, my dear students, the father of the taxonomy, he did a lot. That is why he called as the father of the taxonomy. And later on, R.H. Whitaker, he was a scientist. He tested all the uh, silent features of the classification done by the Cornwall Linnaeus, and he approved the five kingdom system of classification. My dear students, you are looking here in the visuals. So many individuals, so many animals, so many animals, so many plants, and so many other living organisms that you are looking here, and they get diversified into the different climatic conditions, different environments on the earth. My dear student, uh, Cornwall Linnaeus, first of all, he started the classification, and his basis of the classification was uh, the structure of the cell. So he classified the whole living organism into two groups. One is prokaryote and the is eukaryote. So the living organisms, those who are having the incomplete cell, they called as the acellular organism, and they categorize in the prokaryotes. And those organisms who are having the complete cell, all cell organelles, nucleus, etc., then that organisms are were categorized as eukaryote. So prokaryote and eukaryotes are two categories of the living world get classified by the Linnaeus. My dear students, in prokaryotes, there is a single kingdom, that is Monera. So prokaryotes represent all the prokaryotes represent the single kingdom, that is Monera, which including all the bacteria. All the bacteria, whether they are primitive bacteria or they are the modern bacteria. So kingdom Monera is the first kingdom of the classification. My dear student, come to the next, that is the eubacteria. That is the multicellular organism, that is the eukaryotes, and eukaryotes were get classified uh, into two groups, unicellular and multicellular organism. So my dear students, come to second kingdom, the unicellular eukaryotes are kingdom Protista. So unicellular eukaryotes are mostly unicellular fungi, unicellular algae, unicellular protozoans, unicellular other, whatever is unicellular, that comes under the kingdom Protista. And dear student, this is the second kingdom, that is Protista. So first kingdom is Monera, second kingdom is Protista. And my dear student, come to the third kingdom, when all the multicellular organisms get classified uh, into two groups as far as the cell structure is concerned. So the one group that was having the cell wall, and another group that was having the cell membrane. So my dear students, the cell wall, the living organisms, multicellular, which were having the cell wall, then they will be considered as the plant and fungi. So plants were the autotroph and fungi are the heterotroph. So third kingdom was the kingdom Plantae, that was the autotroph, and fourth kingdom, that was the fungi, that all the fungi are the heterotroph. Dear student, come to the next, that is the fifth kingdom, that is Animalia, the animals which cells is having the cell membrane only, all they comes under the kingdom Mammalia and Animalia. So my dear student, this is the five kingdom system of the classification that is done by the Cornwall Linnaeus, and it